In the quiet town of Gone, California, a brutal murder shattered the peaceful facade of an otherwise ordinary neighborhood. Daniel Green, a well-respected law enforcement officer, was found lifeless in his bathroom, shot 4 times, 1 bullet striking him in the forehead. But what appeared to be a random act of violence quickly unraveled into a web of betrayal, manipulation, and dark secrets. His ex-wife, Erica Sandoval, claimed to have feared for her life and the safety of their young son, Aiden, caught in the midst of a toxic relationship filled with jealousy and control. But as the investigation deepened, chilling revelations emerged, casting doubt on Erica's story and exposing the tragic complexities of their fractured marriage. Was this a desperate act of self-defense, or was it a cold-blooded revenge fueled by obsession and betrayal? The truth would not be easily uncovered, and the heart-wrenching tale of love gone wrong would leave everyone questioning how far one person is willing to go to protect their darkest secrets. On the evening of February 6, 2015, the peaceful calm of a cozy home in Gone was abruptly shattered by a chilling discovery. Daniel Green, a highly respected law enforcement officer, was found lifeless in his own bathroom. 4 shots, 1 striking his forehead, ended his life. But the most unnerving part of this tragedy: no one heard the shots. No one saw anything out of the ordinary. And there were no clues to point to the killer. Everything about the scene seemed deliberate, as if executed with cold, calculated precision. But who could have taken the life of an officer who had dedicated his career to serving the community? The answers were far darker and more complex than anyone could have imagined. Gone, a quiet town nestled amidst orchards, had never known such tragedy. On that day, February 6th, at noon, Daniel's colleagues grew concerned after he missed his shift. They arrived at his home, but what they found shook them to their core. 4 bullets, 1 of which struck his forehead, had ended the life of the 31-year-old officer. The strangest part: no one in the neighborhood had heard anything. No one had called for help, and there were no clues pointing to the identity of the killer. No weapon, no DNA. It was as if the criminal knew exactly what they were doing, leaving behind only an eerie silence. Daniel Green had lived in Gone his entire life. He had served the California Police Department for 11 years and was a well-respected member of the community. He was passionate about his work and had always gone above and beyond to serve the town he loved. His home, nestled in this quiet corner where people trusted each other, was a sanctuary. Yet it was in this very home that his life was cut short in a brutal and shocking manner. The investigation into his death began immediately, and it quickly shifted to his personal life. Daniel had been living alone since his divorce from Erica Sandoval, a woman whose relationship with him was anything but simple. Despite their separation, Erica remained heavily involved in his life, trying to control him even after their divorce. On the very day of Daniel's death, February 6th, Erica appeared at the scene. Upon receiving a message from a friend, she rushed to his home, arriving almost immediately, sobbing uncontrollably in front of the officers. She insisted she had not seen Daniel that day and had no involvement in the incident. However, her behavior raised suspicions. She arrived too quickly, reacted too emotionally, and had far too many unanswered questions surrounding her. The death of Officer Green sent shockwaves through the Tulare County Sheriff's Department, leaving his colleagues wondering, was his tragic end connected to the dangerous work he did, or was something more personal at play? The questions multiplied, but one thing was certain: they needed answers. Investigators pressed on tirelessly, following every lead, trying to piece together the complex puzzle of Daniel's life and death. Matthew and Misty, Daniel's twin brother and sister, were deeply affected by his untimely loss. Growing up together in Porterville, a small town in California, they had always known that they would eventually follow their passion for law enforcement. Matthew, following in Daniel's footsteps, began his career in the police force but later switched paths. Daniel, however, stayed true to his passion and rose through the ranks, becoming a respected officer. Their sister, Misty, supported both of them through everything, always proud of her brothers. Daniel was known for his dedication to the police force, but also for his love of motorcycles. A proud member of a motorcycle club, he spent many weekends riding through the countryside, enjoying the thrill and freedom it brought him. One of his closest friends, James Bond Downey, was especially close to Daniel. Together, they reveled in the roads they conquered, the wind in their hair, and the brotherhood they shared through their love of bikes. Daniel's personal life was colorful, filled with dates and fleeting relationships. For a time, it seemed he always had a new girlfriend by his side at family gatherings. But everything changed when he met Erica Sandoval in late 2009. She was a 22-year-old nurse, and Daniel fell head over heels in love with her. His brother and sister, both already married, were thrilled for him. With Erica, everything was different. Daniel was ready to settle down. At first, Erica appeared to be just as in love with Daniel. According to Angelica Ramirez, Erica's close friend, their passion was undeniable. They seemed like the perfect couple. But over time, cracks began to appear. Erica's sweet demeanor could quickly turn volatile, especially when she didn't get her way. As tensions built, their relationship was marred by frequent arguments and conflict. Erica, raised in Southern California, came from a middle-class family. Her brother, David Sandoval, recalled how Erica had always been treated as the center of attention. She was the only daughter, and her parents showered her with affection, giving her everything she desired. She never knew hardship and grew accustomed to having her every wish fulfilled. This sense of entitlement would later play a significant role in her troubled relationship with Daniel. In an unexpected turn, Daniel and Erica shocked everyone by secretly marrying in Las Vegas. At the time, Daniel was 26 and Erica was 23. The news came as a complete surprise to Daniel's family, who received a late-night message with a photo of the marriage certificate. A few weeks later, the couple held a small celebration, but their seemingly perfect relationship was far from flawless. Herb Adams, a close friend and fellow motorcyclist, recalled how Daniel once confided in him about a fight they had before the marriage, where Erica had violently slashed furniture with a razor. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the complexities of this shocking case. Was it a crime of passion or something more? The mystery of Daniel Green's untimely death is far from over. Herb Adams, a close friend of Daniel's, observed a troubling incident that, in his opinion, should have never been overlooked. Matthew, Daniel's brother, had seen the damage caused during an outburst and expressed concern, but Daniel brushed it off, claiming it was just an emotional reaction. Despite this, tensions within the family continued to mount. Matthew and their sister Misty witnessed one of the more disturbing altercations. During an argument, Erica grabbed Daniel and screamed at him in the next room. Daniel's breakdown, heard by both Matthew and Misty, was one of the most painful moments of Matthew's life. He was devastated to hear his brother cry, yet intervening in the toxic relationship proved difficult. The Green family had endured tough circumstances throughout their lives. Matthew and Misty recalled how they and their mother had suffered abuse at the hands of their stepfather, a man with a criminal past, who often drank heavily and used illicit substances. As the older siblings, Matthew and Daniel bore the brunt of their stepfather's aggression to protect their younger sister. It wasn't until their mother obtained a restraining order that things began to change, and their stepfather passed away shortly thereafter. These experiences left lasting scars on the family, and Daniel's relationship with Erica seemed eerily similar to the abusive environment he had grown up in. Family members began to notice that Erica controlled Daniel, isolating him from friends and family and verbally demeaning him. Despite his profession as a law enforcement officer and his frequent exposure to cases of domestic violence, Daniel couldn't admit that he was in a similar situation. He knew he was becoming a victim but felt paralyzed by fear, shame, and an unwillingness to acknowledge his vulnerability. Just like many men, Daniel, despite his position, couldn't bring himself to report the aggression he was facing. By February 2011, the cracks in their marriage became undeniable. A neighbor overheard a loud confrontation between the couple, with Erica yelling at Daniel, pushing him to the edge. In an attempt to keep his composure, Daniel asked the neighbor to call emergency services. Erica was arrested, but despite the severity of the incident, Daniel refused to press charges and she was soon released. This became the turning point for Daniel, and he decided that the marriage was over. In January 2012, just 1 year after their marriage, they divorced and went their separate ways. Months after the divorce, Erica informed her friends that she was pregnant with Daniel's child. This news reached Daniel, and despite their tumultuous past, he decided to give their relationship another shot for the sake of their unborn child. They reconciled and moved in together, with Daniel's family hoping that this time things would be different. However, the issues didn't disappear. Erica frequently confided in her friend, Angelica Ramirez, that she felt Daniel was cold and indifferent. She even claimed that Daniel had choked her in one of their arguments, fearing that one day their relationship would end tragically. Meanwhile, Daniel's friends and family spoke of Erica's aggressive tendencies, damaging his property, slashing furniture, and showing erratic behavior. Yet neither of them sought help, and their relationship spiraled. The birth of their son, Aiden, on January 5, 2013, seemed like a fresh start. Daniel was overjoyed to become a father and felt his life had new meaning. He made the difficult decision to sell his motorcycle, prioritizing his family's safety and well-being. His posts on social media showed him with his son, moments of happiness that seemed to mark the beginning of a peaceful chapter. But peace was fleeting. By mid-2014, the tension began to rise again. Arguments became more frequent, and Daniel suggested that Erica move out. She agreed, but she took Aiden with her, cutting off all contact with Daniel. This sent him into a deep depression. He decided to fight for custody of his son, leading to a fierce legal battle between the two. During this period, a troubling incident occurred that would leave a lasting impact on Daniel. While on a motorcycle ride with a friend, Daniel's brakes suddenly failed. After pulling over, he discovered that the brake lines had been intentionally cut. Suspecting Erica's involvement, Daniel confronted her when he returned home. She denied any wrongdoing, but Daniel chose not to involve the police, preferring to avoid escalating the situation. Erica had always disapproved of Daniel's passion for motorcycles, considering them dangerous. Each time he returned from a ride, it led to more arguments and strained their relationship even further. The tensions escalated into something even more terrifying in the fall of 2014. One night, Daniel awoke to find Erica standing over him with a gun. She claimed that she had had a nightmare in which Daniel was unfaithful to her and said she wanted to kill him so she wouldn't have to feel the pain anymore. Daniel managed to calm her down, convincing her it was just a dream, and she eventually lowered the weapon. But in that moment, Daniel realized how dangerous their relationship had become. He confided in his friends about the incident and knew it was time to end things for good. Despite this horrifying event, Daniel and Erica reunited in January 2015 for their son Aiden's second birthday. At a family gathering, they appeared affectionate, even sharing a brief kiss on the cheek. Onlookers believed they had reconciled, but Daniel knew that a future together was impossible. He posted a picture on social media with his new girlfriend, 20-year-old Brenda Villa, and appeared genuinely happy, as if he was finally moving on from the past. But just a month later, tragedy struck. On the morning of February 6, 2015, Daniel dropped Aiden off at Erica's house and went to the gym. Afterward, he returned home, went into the bathroom, and was shot 4 times, once in the arm, twice in the chest, and once in the forehead. He was killed instantly, with no chance to defend himself. The history of their relationship was filled with arguments, jealousy, and emotional turmoil. Their text messages revealed constant aggression, with Erica accusing Daniel of selfishness and of being an unfit father, while Daniel accused her of trying to take away the one thing he valued most, his son. The reconciliation they had briefly enjoyed was short-lived. Their friends and family were puzzled by their decision to spend time together again, but the peace was fleeting. Soon, the same old conflicts resurfaced, and their relationship fell into chaos once more. The day after Daniel's death, Erica was brought in for questioning. She claimed she hadn't been to his house in weeks and had nothing to do with his death. However, investigators revealed that footage from a neighboring home's surveillance cameras showed Erica entering Daniel's house on the day of the crime. Although the footage couldn't conclusively identify her, the investigators used this information to pressure Erica. Unable to handle the stress, Erica eventually confessed. She led investigators to where she had disposed of the firearm used in the crime. The prosecution argued that jealousy, fueled by the introduction of Daniel's new girlfriend, was the motive for the murder. A note found in Erica's purse, bearing Brenda's name and birth year, confirmed that she had been tracking Daniel's new relationship. The evidence against her was overwhelming, but the trial didn't begin until October 1st, 2019, 5 years after the tragic event. In the days leading up to the crime, Erica had made numerous attempts to contact Daniel, trying to rekindle their relationship. Learning that Daniel had introduced their son Aiden to Brenda pushed Erica over the edge. The prosecution also presented evidence that Erica had deleted messages from Daniel's phone in which he had told her he wanted nothing more to do with her. During the trial, Erica's defense team argued that Daniel had been an abusive husband, presenting audio recordings of heated arguments in which Daniel could be heard insulting and threatening Erica. Erica testified in court, recounting years of abuse at Daniel's hands. She claimed that Daniel had physically assaulted her, choked her, and threatened her. She spoke of living in constant fear and explained that she had never reported the abuse because she believed no one would believe her after all. Daniel was a well-respected police officer with power in the community. On the day before the crime, February 5th, 2015, Erica claimed she and Daniel had flirted over the phone and she had hope of rekindling their relationship. The next day she went to his house, where she found 2 firearms on the table. As she searched the house, she discovered a partially open safe containing intimate photos of people she believed to be underage. This discovery shocked Erica and led her to believe that Daniel posed a threat to their son. Fearing for Aiden's safety, Erica grabbed both loaded firearms and hid in one of the rooms. When Daniel entered the house, she followed him, and as he sat on the toilet, she confronted him. In a moment of panic and confusion, Erica opened fire, shooting Daniel until she felt the threat was gone. She then fled the scene, disposing of the weapons. The unraveling of Daniel Green's life and tragic death reveals a complicated story of love, violence, jealousy, and ultimately, murder. The investigation into his death uncovered secrets that were buried deep within his turbulent relationship with Erica, revealing a darker truth than anyone could have imagined. On the evening of February 6, 2015, the silence of a cozy home in Gowan, California, was shattered by a chilling discovery. Daniel Green, a respected law enforcement officer, was found lifeless in his own bathroom. 4 shots had been fired, 1 bullet to his forehead, and yet no one had heard the shots. No one had seen anything suspicious, and there were no clues that could lead to the identity of the perpetrator. It appeared as if everything had been meticulously planned with cold, calculated precision. Daniel Green had spent his entire life in Gowan, a small town surrounded by orchards, where he was known as a dedicated officer of the law, someone who had committed his career to serving his community. How could such a person meet such a tragic end in the safety of his own home? What led to this senseless loss of life? It would soon become clear that the answer to these questions was far more complex and dark than anyone could have imagined. The discovery was made just before noon when Daniel's colleagues, concerned about his absence from work, decided to check on him. What they found inside his home would send shockwaves through the tight-knit community. Daniel was found lying on his back, lifeless, in his bathroom. The scene was disturbingly neat: no weapon, no signs of struggle, and no witnesses. The only thing left behind was the cold emptiness of a life that had been abruptly and violently ended. His death was no accident. It was a calculated act, one that left the authorities grasping for answers. The small, peaceful town of Gowan was thrust into chaos as the local sheriff's department launched an investigation into the murder of one of their own. The investigation began by focusing on Daniel's personal life. Since his divorce from Erica Sandoval, a 27-year-old nurse, his relationship with her had been anything but simple. Despite their separation, Erica continued to interfere in his life, often attempting to control him. Though their divorce had been finalized, their emotional ties remained complicated, with Erica often refusing to let go. Erica's behavior at the crime scene raised suspicions. She arrived at Daniel's home nearly immediately after receiving the news of his death. She entered the house sobbing uncontrollably, insisting that she had not seen Daniel that day and had nothing to do with his murder. But there was something off about her reaction. She arrived too quickly, seemed too emotional, and had too many unanswered questions. Could she have been involved? The authorities would not rule her out. Daniel Green's tragic end shook the entire Tulare County Sheriff's Department, leaving many wondering if his death was related to his work as a law enforcement officer, or if it stemmed from something more personal. As investigators dug deeper into his past, they uncovered troubling details about his tumultuous relationship with Erica. Daniel's personal life had been anything but peaceful. He had been living alone since his divorce, and the strain of his failed marriage had left a mark on him. Daniel's twin brother Matthew and their sister Misty were deeply affected by his loss. Growing up in the small town of Porterville, California, Matthew and Daniel had always shared a strong bond, with both brothers choosing careers in law enforcement. While Matthew eventually transitioned to a different career, Daniel remained in the force, taking pride in his role as a police officer. Their sister Misty always supported them, standing by her brothers no matter what. Daniel's passion for motorcycles was well known among those who knew him. He was a member of a local motorcycle club and often enjoyed long rides with his close friend James Bond Downey. For Daniel, motorcycles represented a sense of freedom and escape, something he relished in the otherwise quiet life of Gone. But Daniel's personal life, particularly his relationship with Erica, was far from the idyllic image of a man in love. Erica, 22 years old when she met Daniel in 2009, seemed to be the perfect match for him. At first their relationship was filled with passion, and Daniel, infatuated with her, quickly fell in love. However, as time passed, cracks began to show in their relationship. According to Daniel's friends and family, Erica had a volatile temper. Though she could be charming and friendly, she was also prone to sudden, violent outbursts. She often lashed out at Daniel, verbally demeaning him, and over time their relationship became more and more toxic. Erica was born and raised in Southern California in a middle-class family. Her brother, David Sandoval, recalled that Erica had always been the center of attention in the family. She was the only daughter, and her parents indulged her every wish. Growing up, Erica never faced hardship or mistreatment, which led to a sense of entitlement. She expected to be treated as special, and she believed that her desires should always be fulfilled without question. The couple's unexpected decision to marry in Las Vegas came as a surprise to everyone close to them. Daniel was 26 and Erica was 23 when they tied the knot in a private ceremony. Daniel's siblings were shocked when they received a late-night message with a photo of their marriage certificate. Just a few weeks later, the newlyweds hosted a small celebration for their friends and family. Erica wore a white dress and Daniel wore a black suit, but despite their outward appearances of happiness, their marriage was far from perfect. Friends and family began to notice the increasing tension between the couple. Herb Adams, a friend of Daniel's and fellow motorcyclist, recalled how Daniel once confided in him about an incident that occurred before their marriage. Erica had gotten so angry during an argument that she took a razor and slashed the furniture in their home. This troubling behavior was a red flag that Herb felt should not have been ignored. Matthew, Daniel's brother, also witnessed the damage caused by Erica's outburst and was concerned. However, Daniel insisted that it was just an emotional reaction, dismissing the incident as a one-time occurrence. But the tension in their marriage continued to escalate. Erica's aggressive behavior became more frequent, and Daniel was increasingly unable to cope with it. One night, during a particularly heated argument, Erica grabbed Daniel, yelling at him, and it was at that moment that Daniel broke down in tears. Matthew remembered this moment as one of the most painful of his life. He could hear his brother's sobs from the next room, and it was clear to him that Daniel was trapped in a toxic and abusive relationship. However, intervening in Daniel's relationship was difficult, given the family's own troubled past. Growing up, Daniel, Matthew, and Misty had endured harsh treatment from their stepfather, a man with a criminal history who often drank heavily and used drugs. Matthew and Daniel, being older than their sister, took the brunt of the abuse in an effort to protect her. Eventually, their mother managed to obtain a restraining order, and soon after, their stepfather passed away. The trauma from these early experiences had left lasting scars on Daniel, and his relationship with Erica seemed to mirror the abusive environment he had grown up in. Erica exerted control over Daniel, isolating him from his friends and family. She belittled him. And even though Daniel was a police officer who frequently encountered victims of domestic violence, he was unable to see that he was in a similar situation himself. His pride, fear, and shame prevented him from confronting the reality of his situation. The turning point in their relationship came in February 2011, when a neighbor witnessed a loud confrontation between the couple. Erica was yelling and provoking Daniel, trying to push him to his limits. At one point, Daniel asked the neighbor to call the police to intervene. Erica was arrested for domestic disturbance, but Daniel, despite the severity of the incident, refused to press charges. Erica was soon released, and this event marked the beginning of the end for their marriage. In January 2012, just a year after their marriage, Daniel filed for divorce. Erica moved out and their relationship seemed to be over for good. However, things took another unexpected turn when Erica told her friends that she was pregnant with Daniel's child. The news reached Daniel, and despite all they had been through, he decided to try to make things work for the sake of their unborn child. The couple resumed their relationship and moved back in together, but things did not improve. Erica continued to complain to her friend Angelica Ramirez about Daniel's behavior, accusing him of being cold and indifferent. She also claimed that Daniel had physically assaulted her on several occasions. Angelica, despite her efforts to support Erica, was growing increasingly concerned about her friend's relationship. The problems in their relationship only worsened, and by the fall of 2014, it had become clear to Daniel that their marriage was beyond repair. One night, after another argument, Daniel awoke to find Erica standing over him with a gun. She told him that she had had a nightmare in which he was unfaithful to her, and she threatened to kill him to prevent the pain she imagined. Daniel was able to calm her down, and she eventually lowered the gun. But this incident marked the final straw for Daniel. He realized that their relationship had become dangerous, and he decided to end it for good. Despite this, Daniel and Erica remained in contact for the sake of their son, Aiden. On January 5, 2015, Erica gave birth to their son. Daniel, despite all the tension in their relationship, was thrilled to become a father. However, just 6 months later, the arguments between them escalated once again. Daniel, unable to cope with the constant conflict, asked Erica to move out. She agreed but took Aiden with her, cutting off all contact with Daniel. Unable to see his son, Daniel fell into a deep depression. He decided to fight for custody of Aiden, hoping that by doing so, he could offer his son a better future. Erica, on the other hand, was determined to keep Aiden away from his father. She filed for full custody and claimed that Daniel was unfit to be a father. The bitter custody battle only added fuel to the fire, and both Daniel and Erica were becoming more desperate. As time passed, Daniel grew more suspicious of Erica's behavior. He began to believe that she had been hiding things from him, and his paranoia only increased when he started hearing rumors about her new relationships. When Daniel's death was discovered, the investigation quickly turned to Erica. She was questioned by the authorities, and her reactions raised suspicions. She had claimed to be at work when Daniel was murdered, but it was soon revealed that she had called in sick that day. She had also failed to mention that she had been at Daniel's house just hours before his death, when she had confronted him about their custody battle. Despite these suspicions, Erica's attorneys presented a strong defense. They claimed that she had been under immense pressure and fear throughout her marriage and had been emotionally and psychologically abused by Daniel. They pointed to his controlling behavior, his threats of violence, and the years of torment that she had endured. According to her attorney, the pain and anguish Erica felt had led her to snap, and in a moment of fear and desperation, she had taken matters into her own hands. Daniel's family, however, strongly rejected this narrative. They accused Erica of manipulating the situation and using her son as a pawn in her power struggle with Daniel. They pointed to her lies about the photos in Daniel's safe as proof of her deception. The authorities, too, found no evidence supporting Erica's claims. However, her attorney continued to paint a picture of a woman trapped in a toxic relationship, one where both parties were responsible for the tragic outcome. The jury deliberated for days, but in the end, they were unable to reach a unanimous decision. The trial ended in a mistrial, and the case remained unresolved. Erica's attorney hailed this as a victory, believing it would give them another chance to prepare a better defense. However, despite this small victory, Erica's life had been irreparably altered. She was stripped of her parental rights, and Daniel's brother Matthew and his wife were granted custody of Aiden. Erica's future remained uncertain as the case moved toward another trial. The murder of Daniel Green remains a cautionary tale, a tragic story of love, obsession, and violence. It serves as a reminder that toxic relationships can have devastating consequences, and that personal demons, if left unchecked, can destroy not only individuals but entire families. The tragedy that unfolded in the lives of Daniel Green, Erica Sandoval, and their son Aiden is a stark reminder of how deeply destructive unresolved pain and toxic relationships can be. What should have been a story of love and family became one of heartache, loss, and irreversible consequences. Daniel's life was taken too soon, and the ripple effects of his death have shattered the lives of those who loved him. Erica, too, finds herself caught in the web of her own choices, haunted by the consequences of her actions. Aiden, innocent in all of this, was left to carry the weight of a broken family, deprived of the future he deserved. This is a tragedy not just of one life lost, but of many that were forever altered. It stands as a somber testament to the darkness that can lurk behind closed doors, where jealousy, fear, and unspoken pain fester, leading to irreversible destruction.